I think of online trolls as Skrulls. I mean, they're kind of alien. They shouldn't be allowed to do what they do. Diana, what do you make of this controversy?
I don't really like to use the word controversy because controversy to me means you did something wrong and people got mad.
Okay, so
and this is more like people just got mad and she didn't do anything wrong because she just said she wanted more diverse people at her press junkets. And really, that's kind of what we want in movies as well, and themselves in superhero movies, and just support it. Why don't you want more superhero movies?
Yes, and we can educate those white male superheroes about the incredible women that are also part of their universe, right?
You serious?
Hello, my fellow advocates, and welcome back to the Fan Advocacy Network. Captain Marvel is not going to hit $1 billion. Now, for the past couple weeks, my channel has been inundated with SJWs using the sales success, quote unquote, of Captain Marvel as the type of bludgeon against my opinion, because they have no real counter to what I'm saying. They have no real factual evidence to show that Captain Marvel is a well-liked character. And in fact, the ironic thing is that the success of Captain Marvel proves that SJWs are not fans of comic books, because look at the comic sales for February of Captain Marvel, when the sales for Captain Marvel should be at an all-time high. Writing the momentum of the movie, writing all the glowing PR, writing all the things that come along with that, Captain Marvel should be the hottest property in comics, and it is absolutely not. It is failing. These SJWs, they don't buy comic books. They're not fans of comic books. They're somebody who will put a Funko Pop on their desk at work, in their little cubicle. That's the extent of the fan they are. But what they do enjoy is politics. Politics in an easily digestible form. Politics that are easy for them to projectile vomit onto other people. And that's why Captain Marvel, the movie, scratches their itch. Because they didn't have to do anything to warrant the movie being successful. The Marvel series of films did that. The Marvel history did that. It being sandwiched between Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame did that. All the things that made this movie more successful than it otherwise would have been, they take credit for as their identity politics. But not when it comes to their comic book. When it comes to the comic book, Captain Marvel, that nobody likes, nobody reads, and nobody wants, then it's a different story. They don't even mention it. They're like, oh, we don't even want you as a customer for the comic book. That's their defense. You're probably a Nazi. We don't even want you to buy the comic. So these people are hilarious because they're hypocrites in everything that they do. On one hand, profit is the key indicator of success. On the other hand, profit doesn't matter at all. Our low sales numbers don't mean anything. You're just a bunch of hateful bigots. These people are absolutely mentally deranged. Now, Captain Marvel is not going to hit anywhere near $1 billion. Look at the marketing trend for this movie. Now, I know that Charting with Dan from Screen Junkies News, I know that he has a video that other people have linked me to, and I've watched it. The movie's downward trajectory is absolutely clear. Now, you can compare it to other films if you want. I think comparing it to Avengers Infinity War is just frankly stupid, because the amount of money that Avengers Infinity War was generating was substantially more than Captain Marvel by leaps and bounds. In fact, Avengers Infinity War's second week was almost on par with Captain Marvel's first week. So I don't think that's necessarily the movie you want to be comparing it to. Now, sure, the opening week for Captain Marvel was fine, but since then, it's done about what you would expect. It's falling consistently week after week, and now it's sitting at under $850 million. Now, do you think that this weekend is going to bump that up to $900 million, and that somehow next week they're going to get another $100 million? No, this movie is on a downward spiral. So what you're going to see in the next coming week is this movie make less and less and less. Not to mention the fact that Captain Marvel was pushed to number 2 by This Is Us. So as more movies come out, as more interest is taken away from Captain Marvel, this movie is not going to hit $1 billion. You can cry yourself to sleep, SJWs, but that's the reality. Aquaman made $1.149 billion. That is incredible. So that only goes to show you that the weekend box office numbers for the opening week mean a lot less than people think. It's the weeks after. It's the days after. It's how much money can this movie sustain on the weekdays and then into the weekend. The reality is that Captain Marvel just isn't making enough money to hit that $1 billion mark or to beat Aquaman, because really, Captain Marvel should have blown Aquaman out of the water. Aquaman is in the Justice League, but it's sort of he's not really Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. He's sort of an off character in many ways. So Captain Marvel, who's supposed to be the linchpin of the MCU, who's supposed to be the new face of Marvel, this movie should have done $2 billion. This should have been the beginning of a new era at Marvel. But it's not. It's just floundering. And that's why SJWs are so mad. Even though they claim it's a success, they hate the fact that I'm still talking about this. They hate the fact that we are still talking about this and that we are still commenting on what a failure their properties are, how much of a failure their ideas are. They hate that because the reality is that the movie didn't do exceptionally well. Look at those numbers. We're talking about in the third week, this is Captain Marvel. This is the SJW flagship. This is the movie they put everything behind. They erased Wonder Woman for this movie, or they tried to. You know, they tried to pan Alita Battle Angel for this movie. This was supposed to be the feminist movie of the decade. It was supposed to erase all of the problematic white men from the equation and say, look at us, we can do it, we're women, you know, rah, rah, rah. And the movie is middling. It's mediocre garbage that isn't making as much as other less important films that DC is putting out. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to leave you with is this. SJWs are obnoxious hypocrites. There are people who on one hand will talk about how important profit is, and they will try to use the fact that a movie could earn $1 billion as a bludgeon. On the other hand, since they're not fans of comic books, it doesn't matter to them that Captain Marvel the comic is doing so astonishingly bad that it really defies belief. These people are not buying comic books. They're not fans of anything. The only thing that they love is identity politics. They love SJWism, and they love being able to virtue signal to their friends about how great Captain Marvel is. Like, I totally love Captain Marvel. She's so strong and fierce. She's so amazing, like totally amazing. Like, she's just the best. Like, girlfriend, don't even get me started on how great Captain Marvel is. They have no idea about the character or the backstory or any of it. And they don't care because they're not fans. They're more interested in the surface level appeal and using it as a political weapon than actually creating something legitimately good. Which is why this movie's not going to beat Aquaman. Which is why this movie is going to flounder in the coming days and the coming weeks, and it's ultimately going to miss that $1 billion mark. So ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to end things. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel, and I'll see you next time.
What does it mean to be a woman in film?
It means it's really hard. And if you're a woman of color, then it's really, really hard. So what would it take for the critic pool to match this 30-30-20-20 real-world breakdown? And how can we get there? Well, here I am. It's easier than you might think. The bottom line is that if each of the top 100 films in a year added 9 critics that are 3 underrepresented males, 3 white females, 3 underrepresented females, and the average critic pool would match the U.S. population in just 5 years.
I don't know if the expression is butthurt about seeing someone else get a hero that looks like them, but that's because they've always had heroes that look like them. People who get very bent out of shape about the fact that she's a woman and that Brie's a woman and wants to see women moving into an equal place in humanity to men. Sad. It must be sad to be that kind of dinosaur wandering toward the tar pits.
pride and know that the Fan Advocacy Network has your back if you are a fan. Anyway, guys, genuinely, thank you, and I will see you next time.